This election is very much driven by community concerns about cost of living. And I want to leave a very strong message with all of you. So when you leave and you're at your next barbecue or you're talking to your friends, a lot of them are under this misconception, oh, nuclear is used by lots of countries, therefore it must be low cost, it must be cheap, it's been around for a long time. And nothing could be further from the truth. And this is quite incredible that we have the alternative Prime Minister of this country saying reckless renewables is driving up your electricity bill and I'm going to help fix it with nuclear. And it is complete and utter balderdash. And so that is one of the things that I really want to leave with you guys to impress upon others, because the evidence is bloody overwhelming. I was sitting there waiting and thinking, oh, Ted O'Brien's become the energy spokesperson for the coalition. I find that extraordinary. He's a big fan of nuclear from when they were in government, when everyone else would run a million miles, including Angus Taylor from it, including Scott Morrison. Both of them were on the record saying emphatically, oh, it's too expensive, we wouldn't go down that route. And when Ted O'Brien was made Energy Minister, I thought, oh, geez, this is interesting. And for some bizarre reason, he managed to persuade Peter Dutton to go down this route. And I don't think Peter quite realised what he was getting himself into. So I did a study in conjunction with Johanna Bowyer from the Institute of Energy Economics and Financial Analysis, and we looked at the last 20 years of project commitments in North America and Europe, and looked at what the cost was to build plants. And then we threw in an extra one, which is Dukovny, which is in the Czech Republic, or Czechia as they like to call it now, which is a South Korean project, because a lot of nuclear advocates say, oh, just ignore the French stuff and the Westinghouse stuff in the US. South Korea, they're great at this stuff. And I went, okay, well, let's go and have a look at a South Korean project built outside of Korea, like what they'd be doing here in Australia, and not in the Middle East, where they have no labour laws and they basically lock people up for protesting against the government. So we went, no, let's choose the Czech Republic in the EU. Now, the examples there, the build cost just to pay the construction company is twice what the coalition are saying it will cost. Now, if I take into account all the interest that they accumulate in building these projects, because they take so long, they end up with a huge bank interest bill out of that, it's 3 times the cost that the coalition is saying a nuclear plant will cost. To put that in perspective, so we're talking sort of almost $30,000 a kilowatt, you go out and go on the internet and type in, I want to buy a solar PV system, what's the price? You'll get a cost closer to, and this is removing all the subsidies, it'd be somewhere between $1,000 to $1,500 a kilowatt. That's removing the subsidies. If including the subsidies, it's a lot cheaper than that. So $30,000 versus $1,500, okay? If people want to save money on the electricity bill, we've got a lot of better options than going down the nuclear route, and we need to get that message out to everyone. If we go to the next slide. So then we said, what would be the impact on someone's household bill? So let's not talk about kilowatts, let's talk about people's actual bill. This is what people understand. They don't understand kilowatts, they don't understand kilowatt hours, they understand their annual bill. And we looked at each state, and we looked at each project and what it cost to build that project. And then we said, okay, if that construction cost, if the coalition was to recover that cost from energy consumers, and that's what Angus Taylor says he's going to do. He says, no taxpayer subsidies. Okay, that means you've got to get it from energy consumers. The increase in power prices to pay for those plants such that they didn't need any government subsidies would generally result in an increase in the annual power bill of about $600 per year. Now, that is essentially about a sort of, it's roughly a 30% increase in their power bill. It could be really bad though. It could be over $1,000 if we had the same experience that the UK has had with their latest build. So that's a really big impact for a lot of people if they're complaining about their power bills, and you can say to them, well, if you go down the nuclear route, it's going to be even worse, and your power bill is going to go up by about $1,000 a year if the UK experience is any guide. So I think that's a really important message that we've got to get across is solar versus nuclear, what's the best option? And you get to choose with solar, whereas they're going to impose this upon you.
Authorised by Heidi Lee Douglas for Solar Citizens, Sydney.